Hello, Rams, and welcome to the first Monday night sports show of the semester. I'm Cory Odom.
And I'm Maddie Warren. Over the break, the action did not slow down for CSU athletics, but we have all the updates here for you tonight. Before we jump into this past week, Cory, let's break down some big news that broke over break.
Yes, Matt, the men's basketball team went 2-6, but most specifically, I want to talk about Nico Carvacho, who leads the entire nation in rebounds. He's just incredible. I think that really shows the kind of power and fortitude that the CSU basketball team can have. And I think it's also impressive that they've been shooting really well from behind the arc over this last break.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, against Fresno State, they shot 50% from the arc, which is absolutely unreal, made 10 threes. And I genuinely, from what I've seen, New Mexico and Fresno State were probably the most complete and well-rounded games I've seen from this team in a really long time. Their ball movement is completely different from what we've seen in the past, and that just really reflects the different style of coaching we've got for this season.
It's true. Well, Nico Medved actually also agrees that's the most well-rounded thing that he's seen this season as well.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And not even just the men's basketball team, but the women's basketball team, while they struggled, they have had a little bit of shining stars in their roster. They went 3 for 6 over the break, but Laura DeVos actually early in the break versus Denver came just short of a triple-double, which has only been done by one other basketball player in CSU history, Ellen Nystrom. So that was definitely a title that she probably wasn't thinking about, but would have been pretty cool, but again, just shy of it.
Yeah, I feel like with stuff like that, as soon as someone brings it to your attention that you have it, you start playing different than you would. So I think her not knowing about it probably was for the best.
Absolutely.
Well, Maddie, this past Wednesday, the CSU men's basketball team traveled to Reno to face the 7th-ranked Nevada Wolfpack. The Rams were no match for the ferocity of the Wolfpack, but kept the game close in the first half. The Rams ended the first half only down by 7 points, but allowing 58 points in the second half. The Wolfpack pounced early in the second half, going on a 25-6 scoring spree, effectively ending the game, and propelling Nevada to a 19-1 record. Nevada was led by senior forward Jordan Caroline, who had 26 points, 7 rebounds, and over 31 minutes on the court. The Rams were led by redshirt senior Paige, who scored 18 points.
A tough loss for the CSU men's team, Cory, and a 62-38 loss to Nevada last Wednesday was not in the plans for the CSU women's basketball team either. What was projected to be an even Mountain West matchup between 6th-ranked CSU and 7th-ranked Nevada made breaking the Rams' 4-game losing streak seem possible. Colorado State looked hesitant all night and struggled to pull down boards on both ends of the court. The Rams were out-rebounded by 28 thanks to Nevada senior Teray Briggs. Briggs was the first to the ball 14 times for the Wolfpack. The Rams were able to get good looks, but their shots just couldn't find the net. However, despite the final score, there was a standout performance for the Rams. Sophomore Laura DeVos played the most aggressive game for CSU and led the Rams in scoring for the 10th time this season with 12 points.
Despite those 2 losses, the women's basketball team, who were on a 5-game losing streak, hit the road to California on Saturday to take on the Fresno State Bulldogs. It was a close game throughout, with the score being tied 6 times and the lead changing on 5 occasions. The Rams dominated down low, scoring more than half of their points in the paint, while the Bulldogs were effective from behind the arc, especially in the first half, going 12 of 29 over the course of the game, which is 41%. Both teams controlling one part of the court. The game came down to the wire. The Rams were down 3 points with 15 seconds left in the game. Laura DeVos got the defensive board off a missed free throw by the Bulldogs' freshman forward, Maddie. The Rams got fouled with 2 seconds left in the game, where the only real option was to make the first free throw and purposefully miss the second in order to score down low off an offensive rebound. Grace Kolavalu missed the first free throw, and the game ended 54-57 as the women's team takes their 6th straight loss. They will look to break their losing streak in Boise on Wednesday at 7 in the evening.
While the women's team looked to find a spark and end their losing streak, the men nailed down their 3rd Mountain West win at home Saturday afternoon against Mountain West foe Fresno State.
Here we got number 13, and he goes up for the...
And it's denied by Logan Ryan, who's been big defensively for the Rams. Paige taking it down the court, up for the layup, and one, proving why he is one of the top scorers for the men's team.
Yeah, here ends that celebration right there. Now we've got Nate Grimes here, and he's holding on to the ball, and he decides, shoot it up.
Chris Martin misses that rebound.
Yeah, but remember Nate Grimes from the beginning of the clip, because here he is ready to throw it down.
Yeah.
Easy.
Big strength on that team. All right, here we have JD Paige flipping it over to Nico Carvacho, over to Chris Martin, up for the layup. Big time offensive move by Martin.
Yeah.
And we have Hiron Edwards breaking down the court. Bonner up for the three, misses it. Not one of the 10 threes made that night.
Yeah, but then we got Baxton Huggins here, and in a difficult shot to the rim, manages to pull it off with some body contortion. Now we've got ourselves with Sam Bittner, who starts the movement around with the ball. This is what you want to see in an offense. A lot of different looks, waiting for the perfect one, and it's Johnny McWilliams who finds that perfect shot. That's what they move the ball around for. That's why you do it. Next up, we've got Deshaun Taylor, who's in there, stares it down with the silkiest three.
Proving why Fresno State is #2 in the Mountain West.
Yeah, always good to take down a strong opponent.
And finally, we have JD Paige throwing it into Hiron Edwards, who drives to the net, strong through a Fresno defender, and up for the layup. His speed and tenacity on that court, Cory, I got to tell you, it's pretty amazing.
Traffic to it and all of that. That's impressive, and you love to see it.
The CSU men's basketball team took down #2 Fresno State 74-65 with one of their most well-rounded games this season.
Yeah, what a huge win for the basketball team. But moving on to other sports, you can see here that we are joined by Ray McGowan and Zay Reyes here, and they just got back from the Aspen X Games. How you doing, Ray?
Doing fantastic. Glad to be back. It was a fantastic weekend for the X Games. A lot of events going on, a lot of festivities, including concerts. It was just a great weekend overall. Whether you're a sports fan, for winter sports, or just music in general, it was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and Zay, I got to ask, I mean, Colorado's obviously a pretty popular winter sports state, so what was the atmosphere like out in Aspen?
Oh my goodness, it was just like so breathtaking because everyone that was there was just there for the whole entire culture, just friendliness and just community. And throughout the whole entire experience, we can just tell that everyone was just having a great time, just watching all these pro athletes doing such spectacular moves up and down the mountain. It was just a fantastic time to just be a part of all of that.
Yeah, agreed. So there was a lot of really big names there at the X Games this year, but my biggest question is, what surprised you the most of what you saw when you were there?
What surprised me the most was just how the atmosphere was. I mean, as they said, I mean, majority of other sports, venues and competitions you go to, you feel separated from the athletes. So there's some kind of feeling of competitiveness and kind of dehumanizing almost against other athletes. But there, every athlete's just having a blast. I mean, other athletes who did a fantastic run suddenly lose their first place spot. I mean, I know personally watching the men's slopestyle with Rene Renekongas from Norway, he was in first place, and the last one with Mark McMorris came in to win gold the last second. Instead of feeling disappointed, he was screaming his head off, cheering for his friend. It was a feeling where there wasn't a moment where someone was better than the other person. It was just a moment where we get to celebrate winter sports and get to have a grand time just together. It was a fantastic time getting to interact with these athletes and see the camaraderie instead of the competitive side that you see in a majority of other sports.
Well, and talking about Mark McMorris, I mean, you mentioned he took home gold for the men's snowboard slopestyle. I mean, he's 25 years old. That was his 17th X Games medal, putting him one away from breaking Shaun White's record. What was it like watching him compete?
It was, I mean, I keep on saying incredible, but that's the only adjective I have. I mean, for Mark McMorris, he broke his femur in 2016, and then while snowboarding in the District of Columbia, he had a fatal accident with internal injuries, and many people wondered if he was ever going to snowboard again, and he was contemplating retiring. And watching him compete in Pyeongchang, win bronze there, and then coming to the X Games and reclaim gold in the slopestyle for men's snowboarding was incredible. Everyone was amazed at how strong he is and determined he was in coming back and competing in the X Games instead of thinking about retiring. Everyone was excited to see him there.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thanks for that. And for it to be a fatal injury, he must have really healed well.
Oh, absolutely. He looked great out there.
Absolutely. Well, and even talking about the X Games, we got to talk about her, Chloe Kim. She took home gold in the 2018 Olympics, took home gold this last afternoon. I mean, she's obviously an amazing athlete, amazing competitor. So really, what was it like watching her out against her competition? Because it felt like the field was a little bare.
She was determined. It was obvious she was very comfortable and sealed gold within her second run. And she saw her mentor, Kelly Clark, go out there and see her retiring run. It was fantastic, and they had a great time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ray and Zay. Well, Rams, that's all we have for you right now, but don't go anywhere because when we return, we will be bringing you our Super Bowl picks, some recaps of what you might have missed over break, and an interview with JD Paige on his 1,000-point career game ball he was awarded this weekend. But up next is Castro's Cut, so don't go anywhere.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
How's it going, Rams? Welcome to Castro's Cut. I am Litos Castro, here to give you the rundown of what's to come up in CTV Sports this week. I'm excited to be back. I hope you are too. Without further ado, let's get rolling into it. We're going to first start off bouncing over to the basketball court with your men's basketball team. Their first matchup is tomorrow night in Moby Arena, where they take on Boise State at 7 in the evening. Then on Saturday, they head out to face off against the Falcons at Air Force at 2 in the afternoon for you. Next, we're taking a look at the women's basketball team. We got same faces, different places. Women's basketball team. On Wednesday, they face off also against Boise State in Idaho. That's going to be at 7 in the evening as well. Then on Saturday, they also take on the Falcons, except it's going to be at Moby Arena, also starting at 2 in the afternoon. Next, we run over to the track and field team. They've got their first event of the semester coming up on Thursday through Saturday. They're facing off against Boulder in the Colorado Invitational. Huge event, huge chance for them to show what they've got this semester. And we're going to keep you posted, see how they do throughout those few days. Next, we finish up with the women's swim and dive team. On Saturday, they also head to Air Force. That's going to be at fresh 9 in the morning to face off against the Falcons for the Air Force Diving Invitational. All right, Rams, that's all we've got coming up this week. So you know what time it is. It's time for your top play of the week. Let's roll it. Here we've got Kendall Moore handing it off to Nico Carvacho for a huge slam dunk. Gets the fans on their feet, gets the team hype up. That's what you need in a huge win when they took down Fresno State this past weekend. Huge play. Great work from the Rams this past weekend. And Rams, if you see something out there in the sports world that you think might be worthy of a top play, let us know. Tweet it out at me or the CTV Sports Twitter page. See if your show might make it on right here. All right, Rams, that's all we've got. But coming up next is Jared, Jessica, and Jason bringing you the Triple J Pick'em Challenge. Don't go anywhere.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
You are listening to 90.5 KCSU Fort Collins with DJ Mean Beat,
DJ Nightshade,
DJ Wildcard. Music to me is
one of the best creative outlets that I can think of.
An escape from the real world.
Music to me is an expression of love.
To go from like folk to hip hop to like classic rock, 1960s bossa nova. With music, there's like no boundaries.
I work here because I love music, and you do too.
Hello, Ram fans, and welcome back to the Triple J Pick'em Challenge. I think we all know how last semester ended. Jared, go off.
With the dub I brought home, and I have to say the atmosphere is a little different now, knowing that I'm a winner, unlike a loser such as Jason.
All right.
Don't have
stop.
Don't have to stare at me like that. At least you got the middle ground, but I got the high ground.
Okay,
of course.
enough.
That's enough.
Well, it's a new semester with new picks, So Jared, it's time to move on, okay?
I don't know if I will.
So looking at this week, we have tomorrow's Mountain West basketball matchup between number 8 Nevada and UNLV.
All right, so I'll start this one off, and, you know, why not start off with the most risky pick going against Nevada? But let me give you some stats why. Let me go. UNLV hasn't lost at home in conference play. And Nevada showed that they struggle on the road. UNLV is a big rival, in-state rival. They struggled at New Mexico, and New Mexico's been struggling lately. So why not? Why not UNLV?
Starting off the semester very, very
confident.
risky.
I give you a lot of reasons why not UNLV. First of all, you said Nevada struggles on the road. Really? They have one loss. Where,
yeah, one.
Out of all those 19 wins, where did they struggle?
New Mexico.
Yes, and that was one. And that was
Mountain West?
20 out of 20 games, they've only lost one. And let me stress, they're also ranked in the top 10. And if you go down that list, you can't even see UNLV. Even from the 25th spot, you can't even see them. It is ridiculous to even assume that Nevada would even not win by 40 against UNLV. This is insanity to think that. It's hard for me to even vocalize what I'm trying to think right now.
Those numbers make you want to play harder.
I have to side with Jared. If we're going to talk about as of late, UNLV just got kicked by San Diego State, while Nevada's coming off of a bye week, which means their last game that they played in was when they beat CSU by 40 points. So they're coming off really hot. They're coming off rested. Okay, come on. Give that one up. That's a terrible point here.
I'm just saying.
If you win by 40, it doesn't matter where you are.
Nevada's just a super elite team, so I couldn't help but pick them for this week.
All right. Might as well start in the bottom, Jason.
It's my home.
All right, to continue, CSU is hosting Boise State from Moby Arena tomorrow night. Now I'm going to let Jessica start this one off.
So I picked Boise. They actually only lost to Nevada by 1, which is super impressive, as we all know how good Nevada is. A player that I want to talk about is Justinian Jessup. He's actually a Colorado native. He played at Longmont High School. So I think him coming in, he's been a top scorer for this team. So him coming in back to Moby Arena, back to Fort Collins, I think he's going to be super fired up to kind of show what he's got here in the Mountain West. But so yeah, I definitely think that Boise's going to win this one.
I mean, first pick for CSU, and you're going against them already.
Yes.
All right.
It's a little crazy.
Well,
and I want to add, it's not only just about Boise, it's also about this CSU team who's proven to be on a roller coaster. They did come off of a really good win recently, and I think Nico Medved wants to kind of keep them steady, but I just haven't seen that this CSU team can do that. So I think that they're going to go back down and take an L tomorrow.
So we're going to see J.D. Paige, the big chili, Nico Carvacho, and Chris Martin, who is coming out of a big-time slump. He was the reason they're on this roller coaster, because Chris Martin is one of their key players, and he hasn't been existent in the last 4 games until they came back and they played against Fresno State. He had a great defensive game. So I think those 3 guys are going to propel CSU over Boise State.
Okay.
And CSU right now is in the best position to win a game right now. They're on a roller coaster, yes, that is correct. But right now, they're on that high spot. They're ready to
Which
take
means they're ready
down.
to go right back down.
Well, they came off a really good game against Fresno.
Right.
They took down the number 2 team in the conference. That was a much-needed bounce-back game. And like Maddie said earlier, they shot 50% from beyond the arc. That's crazy. And also, don't forget, this is a home game. Dare I say Moby Madness?
Yep. Moby Madness is a real thing.
Yep.
All right, we'll see, guys.
And finally, we have that game that everyone's talking about, the Super Bowl. Tom Brady and the Patriots will be traveling to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta to take on Jared Goff and the LA Rams. So, Jared, I'll let you start this one off.
Well, I'm going to side with my other friend, Jared Goff. We're best friends. Simply put, the Rams are a more complete team. And I'm not only going to vouch for the Rams, I'm also going to vouch for the Patriots. They need to lose right now. This is something that America does not need another Patriots Super Bowl win. I'm saying that because every single person except for Louisiana wants Patriots to lose. Like Louisiana,
Massachusetts.
The Louisiana, they want to be in that Super Bowl right now. They should be, but that's another entirely different story. But Wade Phillips, he's a defensive coordinator for Rams. He's the only defense coordinator to really get in Tom Brady's head, and he still has a keep to lead. So he's going to be getting Tom Brady all day. And also, don't forget, Aaron Donald's still there. Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh, they're going to have the middle lockdown, and they're going to lock down Sony Michel, and that's a guy that really you have to focus on. It's not Tom Brady. Tom Brady had 2 picks last game and only 1 touchdown. He was not helping that team in a crazy way like Sony Michel was. And I think Sony Michel,
that's the game plan.
If you're able to stop him, I think you can stop Tom Brady.
I'm going to go ahead and side here with Jared again. Let me ask you guys, is it a good thing to be a predictable team in the NFL?
Being predictable
is not good in the NFL.
No.
And I think that's exactly what the Patriots are at this point in time. We know that Tom Brady doesn't have an arm anymore. He's throwing those short shots. He's throwing those short shots. What?
Okay, I can agree with you on that one.
He's throwing the short shots consistently, so they know that that's what they have to look out for. So for me, I'm looking at Sony Michel as well, but then if you look at the Rams, they also have their really good running backs at Gurley and C.J. Anderson. So I think that, like you said, that this Rams team is more all around here, and I think that this Rams defense is going to hold up the Patriots.
All right.
Did I make you mad there?
I got 4 letters for you.
Okay.
G-O-A-T. This man is the greatest quarterback to ever do it. And alongside, he has Bill Belichick, one of the best offensive masterminds in the NFL. And he's going to pick apart that Wade Phillips defense like no other.
He could barely pick apart the Chiefs defense.
Tony Romo knows the plays are coming. Why don't defensive coordinators know the plays are coming?
That's a different story. I'm talking about Tom Brady, how he couldn't even take apart the Chiefs defense, and the Rams defense
What are
is
you talking about?
twice as better.
He put up 31 points on them.
2 picks and 1 interception. He put up 6 points. Exactly 6.
It does. That's because that's the game plan. You're obviously going to ground it.
The game plan is for him to throw interceptions. I agree. Yes, that's true.
I mean, you don't go against a 5-time Super Bowl champion. This is his 9th Super Bowl appearance.
He has a record for most Super Bowl losses if he loses this one too.
It'll make it just that much
more 5
exciting.
out of 9 is not that bad.
It's going to be a great Super Bowl 53, but well, Ram fans, that is all we have for the Triple J Pick'em Challenge this week. But head to our Twitter page and now to vote on who you think is going to win the Super Bowl this weekend. It's going to be the Rams. And don't go anywhere because up next we have an interview with JD Paige that you do not want to miss.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. After hearing about their Super Bowl picks on the Triple J Pick'em Challenge, I have to say I really agree with both Jared and Jessica, and basically all of America, for saying that Rams not only can win, but will win and should win. And I will be very sad if they don't win. And I think just really my point is becoming clear here. The Rams will win.
Yeah, see, and I got to agree with Jason. I mean, as much of a rough start as they had to the season, I think the Patriots are definitely the more consistent team. And when you're looking at Super Bowl appearances, I mean, 10 total, 4 in the last 5 seasons, the consistency and the experience is what's going to outcoach and outperform the Rams. And I mean, they're under a head coach who's in his 2nd year of experience.
I mean, he's a James Bond villain, and they lose in every Bond movie. So, and they're not playing against an NFC East team, and everyone knows that's the only team that can beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl.
Well, and I mean, I'm definitely one of the people who likes to see new names every year in the Super Bowl. And with the Patriots in there, it's definitely nothing new.
Yeah.
But I think if we're looking at, again, experience, I'm going to have to go with the Patriots on this one.
Well, would you have been happier seeing the Cowboys make it? Because the Cowboys have a CSU alum of Michael Gallup, who actually led the team for the Cowboys in reception yards over Amari Cooper, who's known as the very great guy, picked up worth a 1st round.
Yeah, and I think honestly after he left, BC Johnson stepped up big time into that role. I mean, he had 54 receptions, 796 yards. He was invited to the Senior Bowl. He just got invited to the NFL Combine. I mean, when we talk about leadership on the Rams team, BC stepped up big time this season.
Totally agree. But what other kind of sports are going on?
Well, track and field, we have Mustafa Hassan, who earned Mile High Sports Athlete of the Year. He also won Mountain West Indoor and Outdoor Shot Put, and now, obviously, because of those performances, he's looking at hitting the Olympics next.
Right, so he's doing amazing things, but you know who also is doing amazing things? Rachel Holland of the diving team for the CSU swim and dive team. She got a personal record in both the 1 and 3 meter dive, and they went for 12 of 14 out of swimming, all swimming events.
Yep, and the swim and dive team beat Air Force on senior day 175 to 125, so really big show out for them there.
Agreed.
Well, Rams, before we wrap up the show, CTV basketball reporters Jessica Mendoza and Sydney Wicker were able to talk to JD Paige about his 1,000 career point basketball he was awarded with on Saturday.
Just another day at Moby, honestly.
Another day at Moby is just a fun day for fans, but for JD Paige, it's commemorating the accomplishment he's made of reaching 1,000 points during his career at CSU. Paige is now one of 29 others to receive this honor, and it wasn't something that he was expecting.
I was just here to play basketball and just to have fun, win a couple titles. It was never like a milestone, so just me being able to do it, it's just a plus.
With the support of Paige's family, it's only added to his experience here at CSU.
Words cannot express my feelings. I'm a proud father, we're proud parents, grandparents, and we just thank the whole CSU community, and we're happy that we were able to share this moment with Jeremiah.
Love and support comes so easy to the Paige family, and it shows off in JD's honors.
Well, it wasn't work, it was love. We did everything with love, so it was nothing that, everything was natural. That's how we are. We're a family. We don't have a lot of money, but our saying is that we're rich in love, and that's why you see everyone here.
Paige added an additional 17 points to his career after Saturday's game and will only look to finish off his career, continuing to add to that. With CTV Sports, I'm Sydney Wicker.
1,000 points, a lot of buckets.
Well, before we end the show, we're going to introduce a new segment that we call Flip or Flop. We asked our Twitter followers to see if you thought this play of Hiron Edwards would flip or flop. So he tosses it over to Nico Carvacho on the outside. He doesn't have much to go off of, gives it back to Hiron Edwards, who goes up for the layup. He's sideways. Cory, I don't know about that one.
I see that 10% of people agree with me that there's no way that ball goes in. I'm looking at that trajectory, not a chance.
Well, and according to the rest of those that voted, it looked like 90% voted for a flip and the ball to go in for 2. So let's see what happened.
All right, we're seeing the pass. He takes it to Nico, the big man himself. He's looking it up, realizes doesn't have anything. He's driving, and we're going to see an impossible shot. Yep, no way that goes in. We'll show it slow-mo so you can see it definitely miss. And I was wrong.
I mean, that's a tough one, but I'm definitely a wishful thinker, and I like to vote for something like that to go in.
Yeah, believing in miracles. Well, Rams, that's all we have for you tonight, but don't forget to follow us on CTV Sports Twitter account at sports_CTV to stay updated with sports throughout the week. I'm Cory Odom.
And I'm Maddie Warren. Have a great night, Ram fans.